Heritage Park Historical Village is a living history museum in Calgary. It's located on 127 acres of parkland on the banks of the Glenmore Reservoir in the city's southwestern quadrant. And while there is always a wealth of things to see and do there, today we're focusing on one thing. We're about to go inside the Gasoline Alley Museum and take a look at one of the world's largest public collections of antique vehicles and oil and gas artifacts spanning from the early 1900s to the 1950s. Now, I'm not a person who's described as a car guy. I love my car, I appreciate my car, and I love looking at old cars. I just don't know much about them. But that's the thing about visiting Gasoline Alley. There's something for almost everyone. Whether you know everything about anything that's under the hood or just like the look of classic cars, it's all right through these doors just for you. There are pre-1950s cars, old-timey gas pumps, and vintage signage. Look at those cars. And we're just barely in the front door. Gasoline Alley is a vibrant three-story museum that offers a unique opportunity to immerse yourself in automotive history. Here we are, about to enter the showroom on the lower floor. Now, I know there's people, maybe even you, who could look at this car and tell us everything about it. As I mentioned, that's not me. I can appreciate the beauty of the car and tell you that it's from 1918 because it says that on the sign in front of the car. But I just like looking at these classic beauties. Look at that classic. Can you imagine driving around Calgary in a vehicle like that back in the day? This Ford AA was built in 1929 and it is an absolute beauty. Now, the majority of the vehicles at Gasoline Alley are located on the bottom floor, and they're all clean and bright and they look amazing, especially when they're all lined up in a row like these ones are. Now, this looks familiar. My family never had the station wagon, but Dad used to hook the trailer up to the car as we drove and camped all across Europe. I didn't ask anyone at the museum any questions. For instance, has this car been refurbished or defurbished to make it look and feel like it was in use during the Great Depression? But staff are everywhere at the museum ready to answer questions. They also have a few ways to keep little kids interested. There's only so many cars and trucks little kids can look at in case you need some extra time to take in the vehicles. I mentioned Gasoline Alley is 3 levels. Well, there's not much on the upper level, but you can go up there to get pictures like this, a nice overview. Now, I've never seen pumps like this in action. Never. The little square pumps we use today are the only ones I've ever seen used. I guess I'm just not that old. I'm not old enough to have seen these types of pumps in actions, but there are dozens of old pumps and automotive artifacts to be seen, and I love how these old pumps look lined up in a row. There's also an abundance of signs. Yes, signs. Everywhere there's signs. In the back part of Gasoline Alley, and what's set up to look like a garage, is the oldest vehicle they have. 1905. Can you imagine having to drive from Calgary to Medicine Hat in one of these little babies? There's no way you could, of course. One of the reasons I love Gasoline Alley as much as I did was there's plenty of opportunities to sit and take it all in. Some museums have a bench here and there, but there's never enough. At Gasoline Alley, there's always a bench or a chair or something to sit on so you can just stare at this green vehicle. From 1937, by the way. The alleyways are also spacious and there's plenty of room to get comfortable and look around. There's also tales of the notorious whiskey runner. You can enjoy a bustling street scene, a vintage drive-in movie display, and have family fun in the family gallery. Gasoline Alley Museum is a wonderful pit stop for guests of all ages, not just car buffs. Oh, and you can rent it out for weddings, corporate meetings, company barbecues, and fundraisers. However, it's primarily there for us all to see and appreciate it. Thanks to Calgary businessman Ron Carey, who generously donated the items to Heritage Park so they could be put on display for public enjoyment while being properly maintained. Okay, from inside a museum with hundreds of vehicles, let's head back out onto the highway to get to our next destination. Next time, I will take you across, over, and even under Canada's longest bridge and the world's longest bridge over ice-covered water. That's New Brunswick we're looking at here. And here's the amazing Confederation Bridge as seen from Prince Edward Island. And if you look way down over my shoulder, way down, you can see how the Trans-Canada Highway twists and turns through the Atlantic Ocean. That's next time.
Traveling with Dan.